Once upon a time, in the gleaming marble towers of Felwith, there lived an elf of excessively refined taste, dramatically impractical fashion, whose sesquipedalian speeches often left his company bewildered. His name? Vaelerion Duskwhisper III, scion of House Duskwhisper, a family so old their lineage predated light itself, or so Vaelerion often claimed. Vaelerion had spent most of his 115 years indulging in the most extravagant of elven luxuries: crystal wine decanters filled with moonberry nectar, enchanted velvet robes stitched with starlight thread, and books he would never read but would prominently display in gilded shelves. However, his grandmother, the matron lady Celendra Duskwhisper, had finally grown tired of her grandson's idle existence. "Vaelerion," she said with her piercing sapphire gaze, "you are an insufferable dilettante. If you wish to inherit my fortune, you must do something useful with your life. Go forth, become an adventurer, and earn a name worthy of House Duskwhisper." And so, with much performative sighing and complaints about how adventuring would ruin his manicure, Vaelerion enrolled at the Academy of Arcane Pursuits, and thus our adventure begins. It is an almost incomprehensible affront to reason that I, Vaelerion Duskwhisper III, esteemed scion of House Duskwhisper and paragon of refined elven sophistication, should find myself in such an unfathomably pedestrian predicament, armed with nothing but a crumpled missive and the lamentably coarse attire befitting a plebeian vagabond. Very well. I shall deign to locate this so-called imp-holder individual, though I suspect their company will be as insipid as their moniker suggests. Greetings, imp-holder. My venerable grandmother, Lady Celendra Duskwhisper, has dispatched me to this rather unassuming locale to deliver unto you this parchment containing the preliminary guidelines for my so-called tutelage under your undoubtedly scintillating mentorship. It appears the path to adventurous distinction begins here. Now then, I suppose the hour has come to begrudgingly immerse myself in the arcane intricacies of this so-called magic. And so, robed in his lamentably substandard garment, armed with his woefully pedestrian dagger, and with the attitude of a petulant child, Vaelerion made his way to the front gates of Felwith, ready to begin his new adventure. Well, let us endeavor to find an appropriate target for our new arcane incantation. Well, it appears there are plenty of bats here, and since that imp holder asked me to bring back some bat wings, I suppose I'll start there. Oh my. Did you see the way that it burned? Bat wings, how distasteful and malodorous. But collect them I shall. Oh no, it's an orc. I am woefully unprepared to deal with the likes of an orc. Vaelerion ran for the guards with all due haste, beseeching them to rescue him from his deadly pursuer. The guards did save Vaelerion, and he learned a lesson that day. The world outside of Felwith was dangerous for a novice magician, even one with a huge ego. After collecting himself and regrouping, Vaelerion decided to get back to lighting things on fire. As Vaelerion vanquished many enemies, he found he rarely needed to use the pedestrian dagger he had been given, and found himself relying heavily upon his fire magic. If even the lowliest of magics were this powerful, Vaelerion wondered, what were the limits? How far could he go? He had heard rumors of the ability to summon elementals, maybe a fire elemental. Understanding this elemental magic would become his primary focus. But for now, his inventory was full, and he needed to return to town. Impolder, I have returned, bearing the repugnant wings you so insistently desired. Now then, let us not tarry in unnecessary pleasantries. Bestow upon me the recompense that was so explicitly promised for this sordid errand. Ah, a new spell. Truly a satisfactory exchange. Neola Impolder was legendary for her patience with young high elves. After all, she'd been teaching them for a millennia. They all started full of ego and self-importance, and Vaelerion was no different. But eventually, they all learned discipline and patience, and she was sure Vaelerion would do the same. Only time would tell. Vaelerion would soon return to his adventure, but first he was on a mission to find some new bags. Just some small ones, as he was too poor to afford larger ones at this time. Greetings, I am Vaelerion Duskwhisper, and I find myself in dire need of receptacles of sufficient capacity to accommodate... I need bags. Yes, these will do nicely. You have my profound gratitude. And now it's time to burn. As Vaelerion became more powerful, his understanding of the elements also grew. He would head back into Felwith and speak with Neola Impolder and see if there was anything more to be learned about summoning fire elementals. While he was there, he would go ahead and turn in some more bat wings and clear out his inventory. All flare spells. Maybe she's annoyed with me. This might have been the most self-aware thing Vaelerion had ever said in his life. Maybe, just maybe, he was learning and changing. Guards, thank you for your service. Okay, yeah, off to burn some things. Did Vaelerion just thank somebody? What is even going on? What? Are we off script? Huh. I never realized pixies were so flammable. I also never realized pixies carried coins. After gaining a new level of power, Vaelerion decided it was time to return to town, to spend his hard-earned coin from the wholesale slaughter of pixies. It was finally time to learn about summoning elementals, preferably fire elementals. Here it is, finally within my grasp, the power to summon an elemental. Come, Karartik, let's burn. Vaelerion and Karartik burned their way through dozens of foes, non-stop, for like an hour. It was actually insane. During that time, they learned to work together as a team. It was the first time in Valerion's life that he had felt that kind of kinship. Yes, he had truly found his calling as an agent of fiery death.
wizards and the cyber winds. With every jump, every win, we're riding our tail. From noob to legend, we will prevail.
Hey everyone, Sigil here. I hope you enjoyed meeting Vaelerion as much as I enjoyed playing him. In our next episode, we're going to introduce you to Cynic, the half-elf rogue, and his life of crime. If you're enjoying the series so far and you want to see more, go ahead and hit those YouTube buttons and set yourself up to be alerted. And as always, thanks for watching.
From the pixels to the stars above, gaming together, we're powered by love.